My name is Adedoyin. I'm a consultant. I'm a performance consultant. I like to use that word. I'm a performance consultant, not a management consultant. I'm a performance consultant. I'll try and quickly differentiate how I work. Yeah. So I try as much as possible because the essence of every organization is performance, right? And my expertise actually lies between helping organizations identify performance issues in their organizations and addressing the root causes of these performance issues, right? And providing ethical and cost effective solutions, to help solve their problems, to help close the gaps. So I do a lot of cost benefit analysis when I'm having a conversation with executive the decision makers, because that's one area that a lot of us are really not playing, and that's why we always get a well, that's why we always get some challenges when it comes to putting our ideas and solutions and some of the things that we want to do forward. So that's where um, I I I try to that's how I try to define myself. I've worked in a close to about 18 industries, covering private, covering public, and also non-profit. I've worked at different cadres. I mean, working with CEOs, working with CHROs, working with CLOs, senior managers, frontline managers, and um, a whole lot of people like that. So, for today, our agenda, this is what our agenda looks like. Let's even try and understand what a business case is and why we need one for our talent development initiatives or anything that we're trying to do. Not necessarily talent development, any initiative, even HR initiatives that you're trying to come up with, or project or program or something. Apparently, I was talking to someone. Well, someone organization requested uh, that someone sends in a case for an initiative about 3 months ago or thereabout. So that person now came to me and was asking me that she doesn't know what a business case is. So it was quite a bit shocking because this is a consultant too who has been doing the work for a while. So I purposely put that there for us to understand what a business case is and why we need one for our talent development initiatives. Then what are the key components of a compelling business case for TD? Then also effective strategies for aligning our TD goals with the organizational objectives. Then also how we can quickly put ROI forward in our business case development for our TD initiatives, because it's called the era we're in right now is called show me value economy. If you can't show value, I can tell you that a whole lot of your initiatives uh, will be shut down. Then how do you also communicate value proposition of your TD initiative? So, I mean, those are the things that we just quickly look at. It's going to, like I said, I want it to be conversational. I want it to be experiential. I want you to also share your ideas, and I also can learn. And I think that's the way we can make learning impactful. It's a two-way thing, right? Um, so I put this quote here that a meticulously researched, persuasively argued, and expertly crafted business case can be the deciding factor between a project being summarily dismissed and one being enthusiastically approved. Right. Um, So most of the time, a whole lot of us, I've been a victim or I've been a culprit in the past where uh, I want to, I've seen a good to nice, a good to have idea, and like we typically do in HR and talent development. We've seen that maybe an organization is doing something uh, or it's become a fad. It's a current thing. The next thing is that, oh, let's also try it. And we just want to jump on that idea without working from the background, without understanding, without putting a whole lot of ideas together. So that's the essence why I put it here, that no matter how meticulous you researched and you want to argue your case and craft your business case, you know, um, the ability to get an approval for your initiative starts with writing a compelling business case, for your initiative, because uh, your stakeholders, even though a lot of them are not self-aware in quotes, but they know what they are looking for. They may not know the intricacies, they may not know the technicalities of what you're trying to do. But the thing is that within their mind, there's something they are looking for. And that thing they're looking for has to do with investment. Everything that we do in organizations, most of the thing, most especially for us who are talent development professionals, I've said this over and over again, that we are interventionists. Yes. And the ability to understand problems, the root cause of problems, will give us a leverage whenever we are putting up any program. That's the way it is. Our ability to diagnose, understand the problems, like a doctor. Our work is that of a doctor, whether you're a talent development professional or whatever, because usually it's when there are problems at usually three levels that they come to us: at the organizational level, at the process level, and at the individual level. In fact, most of us that are talent development professionals, we work more at the stage of individual. That's when we then begin to develop trainings. That's when we begin to develop our learning programs, and all of that. And like I've said before, L&D's job is not just to deliver training, but to deliver training that actually improves individual performance and business outcomes. That's very key. Now, let's move on. I like to contextualize things, right? So from conversation, um, these are some of the current challenges and realities that organizations are battling with. And one of the reasons why you may find it difficult to get buy-in for your initiatives: budget constraints. I don't need to overemphasize that. We all know what the world, not just even in Nigeria now, we all know what every organization is battling with now. So you can imagine a situation where you have fantastic ideas, you have lofty initiatives that you want to bring to life, and they are telling you, we don't have money for that. They are saying that, oh, we're sorry, HR will only get, because HR is a cost center. Excuse me. Anybody who says HR is a cost center, then they are missing it. Or anybody who says talent development is a cost center, you are missing it. Even though it looks like you are taking a cost, but if you can put it out there, what the return will be on every investment. That's why we say that training is not a cost, but an investment. Because if I take someone, take for example, if I use 1 million to train someone, and after that training, this person comes back, and within a spate of 3 to 6 months, this person is able to drive performance by X. And from that X, I can show the investment and the return on that investment, that I have spent 1 million, and for every 1 million naira that I spent, or one kobo or 1 naira that I spent on this guy, this is the return on investment that I got from him. So these are some of the current realities: remote work challenges, competitive landscape. We all know what competition is all about right now. There are some organizations that are leaving. There are some that are re-emerging, that are re-entering. So competition is very rife right now. It's very, very, I mean, it's very brutal out there. You can imagine now that organizations are competing when it comes to price. When it comes to price, organizations are redeveloping their strategy to ensure that they remain competitive in the workplace. So there are several changes that we're beginning to see in organizations, and these are the things that actually will make it difficult for us to get buy-in for our initiatives, retention and engagement, and so many things, like that. Now, this is not new. This is really not new. Where the decision makers are a bit dissatisfied with some of the things that we do as talent professionals. Either we're directly responsible for talent management or talent development. A lot of, if you sit down with your CEO, they will tell you a lot of things that may not be too good to hear, and it's very evident. It's very, very evident in a lot of organizations. You can see this. 67% of CEOs say they get a least basic set of human capital metrics, but only 24% of survey respondents said HR also provide analytics. Just 24. You can see that gap. 75% of CEOs report that they want return on investment, because for every business case that you put up out there must be a return on investment of such initiative. And they're saying that only 4% of them, of CEOs, are getting it. Just very small. Now, let's quickly define what a business case is and why do we need one? Why should we craft one? So I put here that a business case is just a justification for a business project. Nothing more, nothing else. It's a justification for a business project, for a program. Let's put it that way, for a program, even for a task. Sometimes people write a business case for a task. And here, a business case answers the question, what happens if we take this course of action? So, for example, you want to, there's a conversation around, conversation around skill gaps. There's skills gap, like I projected in the previous slide, and you are asking a question that, and the business owner is asking you, what do we do about this skill gap of a thing? And it's something that a lot of people are battling with. So you are coming to say that, oh, okay, we want to start a training. You want to start it through, you want to start maybe retraining people, across the organization. So that helps you to answer the question, what happens if we take this course of action? So you are saying that the best way to close that gap is by towing the path of trade. But you agree with me that there are actually 1,001 ways where you can actually fill a skill gap. There are if it's formal training, even if you don't have means for the formal training, you may want to do e-learning. Another way you can close skill gap is maybe by using developmental approach, experiential, where you put people together to learn from someone who is more experienced. You may want to use a coaching and mentoring session. You may want to use different, but if you say that, oh, you are going the route of a formal training, that means that helps you to answer that idea that, oh, this is the best case for us to close that, gap. Now, having said that, I can also say that a business case helps compare the cost of a project with the benefit that it provides. Because when you put up a business case, you want to talk about the cost implication. You also want to talk about the benefits, because someone will make a decision, just like our proposal, just like the way we typically write our proposal. For those of us who are in consulting here, you know that for you to get any project, you have to write a proposal. More like a business case, but it's internal now. I can also say that a business case actually helps you show the benefits outweighing the cost. It helps you show the benefit outweighing the cost. It also, we can also say that it's a document that helps professionals to showcase how a particular initiative, will help the organization. But the overarching goal, the overarching idea around a business case is that it's a document to justify, a business case is a justification for a business project, a program, or a task. So that's the way I'll put it. Now, I think we are good with definition. Let's quickly go to why do we need to craft one. I've said it at the introductory stage. This is the time we need to demonstrate the value of our proposed product or service and how it will help your organization to grow. We don't need to re-emphasize that. Organizations they are putting priority on project now. The same way talent development will come is the same way sales will come. Is the same way operation will come. Is the same way sales will come. So if I were to be in a situation to make a decision, I'm going to pick a project that I know that is going to give me the highest return on investment, because I just don't want to invest. And that is it. Anytime we want to start any new initiative, we must put a priority on a project. So for this year, what are the initiatives that I want to drive as a talent development professional? Oh, I'm looking at a mentoring and coaching session. I'm looking at a leadership development program. I'm looking at training people. Initiatives are done by you can only drive your initiatives when you have money. If you don't have money, there is really no good initiatives that you can drive. I've talked about so many things now. The real initiatives that will impact the bottom line, that they are not driven by just mere word. They are driven by resources, by financial resources, by people. Then, of course, also you craft compelling business cases because you want to ensure that there is impact. You want to maximize impact. You want to also mitigate risk. You want to ensure that the risk associated with that initiative, you identify those risks even before you start one. You also want to craft a compelling business case because you want to measure and evaluate. This measurement and evaluation is a very key skill. It's a very key skill in talent development. And a lot of people uh, are not playing there. Then, of course, you also want to gain stakeholder buy-in. We've talked about that. Um, so now let's quickly move on to talk how you can craft a compelling business case. So I put here that there are actually 5 key considerations that when you are writing any when you are crafting a business case for any initiative, you must consider these 5 ideas. If you go out there, you will see a lot of text that will tell you that, put up, a bulky document and all of that. But for me, the shorter the better. And I put it here because anytime I'm writing a business case, I want to consider these 5 things. In fact, on no account should you write a business case without considering these 5 things. One, the problem. And when you are writing here, you must explain the problem and lead with the problem, and lead the problem with the need for the organization. In fact, this explaining the problem is what we call the why of your business case. The why, the reason for writing the business case. So, take for example, you want to bring, you want to bring, you want to start a performance management initiative. Maybe it lies with your part of your work as a talent development professional. You want to start a performance management initiative. Why do you need it? Why do you need it? And that's the starting point of it. Because performance management is an intervention. There are some organizations today, they don't have a formal performance management system in place. Yes, I know a couple of organizations who have said that, let's democratize it. Managers are responsible for the end-to-end of performance management system. HR doesn't have a say there. And you as the HR, you feel that, it's not done right. You want that to be formalized. So why that? Most of the time, we just feel that, let's pick up on this idea because another organization is doing it. Then let's do it. Because it's one of the, no. It's not. If there is no reason to start any initiative, please don't start it. If you have not done a compelling case to start an initiative, do not start it. Because you'll find out that most of the time, or maybe sometimes, maybe don't let me use most of the time. Sometimes you find out that an initiative is actually even causing more problem than good in organizations. I've seen that before. I'll give you an example. I was talking to, I think it was during when I was running my live show. I was talking to a thought leader, who said he consulted for he mentioned the name, one of the top organizations. I think maybe I can't remember. So they said that they, that particular organization, they have a performance management system whereby it takes a lot of time of managers. It takes a whole lot of time of managers. It takes a whole lot of time of people generally whenever it's time for them to do performance appraisal. There are several hours invested in it. And they now said that during COVID, they just ask a simple question on their Slack app where everybody, where they have all the stuff. And the question was, what initiative that we currently do in our organization should we eliminate? In fact, he said that 95% of the employee in that organization said they should eliminate the performance management system. And the senior managers they met and they said, okay, for this year, let's eliminate our former performance management system. And do you know what happened? Performance shot up. Performance shot up. They recorded the kind of performance they've never even recorded during COVID. And by the time they were now they began to look at, okay, what could be the reason? And they found out that their performance management system was too rigid. In fact, it was causing more harm than good on employee performance. So why am I saying this? Understanding the problem, understanding the why of your initiative is very, very important. And you must lead that why, you must connect that why with the need of the organization. Then number two is that as much as you are fixated on a particular initiative, you must also describe possible options. And not just only to describe the possible options, describe a situation where if your organization actually does nothing about that initiative, what could be the consequences? So we talked about skills gap. If we say that, oh, because we don't have money, because if we train them, they will still leave us, and we feel that, oh, we shouldn't train them at all, then what are the implications? What will be the implication of not training these people at all? In your business case, you must include it. Then also the cost-benefit analysis. Yeah, the cost-benefit analysis of each possible solution. So you've picked a skill gap, a formal training. What would be the cost-benefit analysis of that? You've also picked, oh, okay, you want to bring in, you want to invest in an LMS. What would be the cost-benefit analysis of that? You want to start, you feel that, oh, okay, you also want to start maybe what was that now? Maybe a corporate academy or something. You want to situate it inside the organization. What would be the cost-benefit analysis of that? Because if you are able to explain this and you are able to show the stakeholders that, oh, if you invest in training, this will be the return on investment for training. If you invest in corporate academy, where we internalize all our processes, we're using our managers as our faculties, you put all that as your cost-benefit analysis, then they can make a decision to say, oh, okay, why not let's go for this? Because we are spending little on training, on formal training, and the return on investment of formal training will be far more than the corporate academy. Then, of course, as a professional, you must be able to recommend the best solution. Out of these three, this is what you are going for. Then explain how you want to implement it. Most of the time, We just want to start something. We don't typically explain the processes, how we're going to move from point A to point B. Um, I remember an organization that we were talking to. They said that uh, they wanted to start a culture change program. And I was asking the head of the head of transformation for that organization that, so when the consultant has actually finished designing all these things for you, how do you want to implement? And he said, that's another conversation. I said, no, let's start having that conversation from now. Because internally, within, you're actually meant to come up with a business case for this initiative because you are the owner. You're actually even responsible for this, you are responsible for this initiative. The success of this initiative lies with the transformation team. And if you don't build a business case for it, I can tell you it's going to be like one of those change initiatives that, you know, does not see the light of the day. It's just going to be something that you are going to start. And at the end of the day, when it comes to implementation, it's dead on arrival. So these are the high level ideas that you must begin to think around when it comes to crafting a business case for any initiative that you are looking to um, uh, communicate, or you are looking to get a buy-in from the stakeholders. We can just go on to look at uh, the tidbit of it. So, for example, if you're just writing a short case story, a short business case within your organization, you can see I've put it there. Executive summary. Of course, executive summary is the bedside view of your business case. This is where more like your elevator pitch, where you talk about um, like the short summary of the entire business case, where you talk about for example, someone who is going to read the business case, even mere reading the executive summary, is going to understand what you are going to do. Just that executive summary, a snapshot of the executive summary, will give the person a good idea of what you want to implement and what you want to achieve, basically. Project definition. This is where you talk about the background, to your business case, or to your project, or to your proposal. You talk about the issue. You talk about the issue that you want to address. Even your proposal. Here's what I propose. I propose that, okay, with the current skills gaps that we have in the organization, if we don't do anything about this, this is where we'll end up as an organization. You also sometimes you even begin to talk about the benefits to the organization here. And not just only that, this is where also you must begin to connect that to the objectives of the organization. At every point in time, there are organizational objectives. And that is why it's important for us to understand. In fact, the starting point of any initiative, or the starting point of our work at the beginning of every period, is to understand the direction of the organization, the goal, the objectives. These are things that we typically talk about at the beginning of the year. So maybe the CEO is saying that, oh, for this year, we want to deliver exceptional customer service. This year, we want to reduce cost or wastage. This year, we want to ensure regulatory compliance. This year, we want to boost growth in specific sectors or territories. We're looking to open up a new branch in Abuja. These are objectives. And the question you should ask yourself is that with what you do, with all the initiatives that you are planning to do, How are you going to connect everything? How are you going to connect your initiatives to the direction of the organization? What's the implication of your training to growth? In fact, all these things will give you an idea of what should even go into your a business case document. Then the finance part of it. How much is it going to cost? What will be the benefits to the organization? In fact, by that, sometimes you may even decide that, oh, this is this is something that you are not going to, it's not ready. I remember talking to someone last year. I won't mention the name of the organization. So he sent a list of the skills that they want to close. In 2024. So by the time I did a cost benefit analysis and I shared with him, he stopped picking my call. He stopped picking my call. So recently we now spoke. I said, "Okay, I've been calling you. That what happened after I sent that document to you? You stopped picking my call." He said, "Doing, I came to the reality that that is not an initiative that I'm ready to drive this year. It's not. In fact, I must not deceive you. It's not an initiative that we sell this year." And I told him, okay, maybe you should go and develop a case for it. He said, well, it's something that is so sure, but there are other things that he's pursuing that he is very sure that they are going to pursue for the year. That is it. Then, of course, project organization has to do with who will be doing what, how progress and success will be measured and monitored, stakeholder identification. Yeah, because it's important. Most of the time, when we run initiatives, we don't consider stakeholder. We don't. I've seen it several times. We don't consider stakeholders. HR wants to drive everything without considering that there are several internal stakeholders. Your employees are stakeholders. Your managers are stakeholders. The business owners are stakeholders. And for those of us who are familiar with um, stakeholder identification and management, you don't want to do something without considering stakeholders. And the simplest way I define stakeholder is that a stakeholder is anybody who will be affected by an organization, strategy, or project. It's someone who will be affected. And the funny thing is that you can be affected even without being involved. Yes, you can be affected without being involved. For example, an HR driving a training program. It, don't if you don't consider stakeholders, it's very key. Do you know that managers actually play an important role in transfer of learning? They play, so in fact, bigger role than we do the HR or talent development that we do when it comes to transfer of learning. Because one thing is for you to spend so much on people, another thing is for them to transfer that learning on the job, what they are doing to performance. And managers are responsible for that. Because after the training, there are several things that managers must do within 30 days of the training, within 60 days of that training, and within 90 days of that training. And if managers are not doing these things right, I can tell you that there will not be a transfer of the knowledge, of the skills, competencies on the job. So you just feel this by sending people for training and ask them to come back, write training report, and it's done. No, it's not. In fact, that's where you are actually meant to start the work. And managers are responsible for that. So you can see the essence of understanding how you should manage stakeholders. And of course, for those of us that are familiar with this tool, the RACI matrix, yes, the RACI matrix, this is where we need to bring it in. RACI stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. I mean, it's something that a whole lot of us are familiar with. A lot of people don't talk about ROI. And when I see someone trying to initiate something, an idea, like I said, it, it's a challenging time. It's a very challenging time. And if you don't put the idea around money, finance forward on any project, your idea will be shut down almost immediately, right? So now, I just put it here because most of the time, as learning professionals, uh, we just go about doing our evaluation. And when we do our evaluation, a lot of people, from what I have seen, a lot of people stop at level 0. And level 0 is where we present activities. That's why most of the time you see that a training function or learning and development function is usually don't have credibility most of the time. Yes, because they struggle to put forward what the owners, what the key decision makers want to see. And if I talk about this, you will then understand this report better, this survey better. That 75% of CEOs report that they want ROI, but only 4% are getting it. Now, this is where a lot of us, when we evaluate, talking about measuring and evaluation, and it's always also include that at the beginning of our initiative and project. So when we send people for training, or usually training, I see that a lot of people come back to do a training report after the training. And when they are doing their reporting, this is what they are reporting. Number of participants, the hours spent, they will say 15 contact hours, the cost, the timing, our smiling sheet. People will even say that they had fun, they will put pictures, but that is not what business owners are looking for. It's very, very, as much as you need, is very, very irrelevant. Even HR, when we do our employee engagement, when we bring our ideas forward, when we bring our initiatives forward, we do not put forward to the owners what they want to see. We're always reporting activities. And when we start talking about training hours, costs, participant, what people ate, and all of that, and I'm like, wow, so is this what the real owners really want to see? If this is what we have been doing, you are just level 0 of evaluation. Level 1 is where we are talking about outcomes. So after the training or after that initiative, just think around any initiative that you've implemented. Maybe your employee engagement, your performance management, anything. Just think around the thing. Have you gone back to do an evaluation of that intervention? Remember, I've said it that there are actually 2 types of intervention: learning and non-learning. Either your learning intervention or your non-learning intervention, do you evaluate from time to time to see progress that you are making? Like I said a typical marketer or marketing professional will evaluate. A typical salesperson from time to time is evaluating. A finance person is giving you a report. Oh, this is my P&L. I have this cash. This is my cash flow position. This is my bidder. So many things, they are putting it forward. But because we don't do that, that is why most of the time we don't get the buy-in. And that is why a lot of time we are losing that credibility. So at level 2 is when you are reporting outcomes. Most of the time, maybe, oh, people are motivated to, you can see them now, they are motivated. The training that I taught is relevant to our business. Oh, they taught them, I mean, that's when we are now reporting the modules, or we are reporting that, oh, in employee engagement, we've implemented 5 employee engagement initiatives, dropping cake for people on their birthday, and all of that. Those are reactionary, and perceived value is perception. Business owners are not looking for. At level 3 is the level where, okay, where there's like a the level at which they know. The level at which they know. You say now, oh, you are reporting that, oh, okay, now some people are better. They have better knowledge now. They've acquired more competencies. You can see it's at the level of learning. Yeah. So that's level 3. So that's level 2, sorry. Then level 3 is where we're now talking about behavioral change, extent of use, extent of task completion, frequency of use, actions completed, success with use, barriers to use, enablers to use. But business owners, they start looking for what they want to see. It's usually from level 4, which is far, far, far from where we typically report. They want to see the impact of that on business, on any initiative on your business, in terms of productivity, in terms of revenue. So you send this person for training. What's now his level of productivity? He was doing X before, but now he has moved on. It's different from when you are now reporting that, oh, he's skilled at. He may be skilled at something, but not achieving performance, having that skill. But you've gone to the extent of now reporting productivity, revenue. Oh, I sent Adedoyin for a training on sales. He was selling 1 million per month. Now, 3 months after he's gone for his sales training, he's now hitting 50 million. Revenue, quality, time, efficiency, customer satisfaction. When you can measure these things, employee engagement. Not just only that, you now move to ROI. That I have used 1 million to send Doing for a training on sales. But now the return on investment on that training is X. And most of the time, we don't do that. We don't do that. A lot of us, I know a lot of HR people here, a lot of talent development people, we don't do that. We don't do that. That's basically what it is. Just for us to quickly have an idea around how to calculate it. So, for example, if you want to initiate anything, any idea, any initiative that you want to initiate, maybe you've called a consultant to work with you to bring to life a coaching program within your organization. And this consultant is asking you for 50 million. Honestly, I don't have issue with consultants because I'm a consultant. But I will ask you, can you also show me a certain level of return that I'm going to get on this? If that conversation is not happening, honestly, do not invest. Do not invest. If you are engaging a training firm and you are telling them that they are telling you that they want to charge X, don't limit yourself by the training calendar, the learning overview they share with you. They need to work with you on, even though they don't have a say when after the training. Like I said, there are some things that actually like, but you must be comfortable at a certain level. In fact, by the time you look at the content of a training provider, you will know the level where they will take you to. Yes, I mean I do that, and I get to know that. So if you share a training content with me, and I'm asking you, so what's your looking at your style of writing, looking at the style of how you impact facilitation, I will know the level where you take my people to. Now let's quickly do a rough idea, a rough calculation. It's defined here that return on investment is a financial metric representing the ultimate measure of project success, right? So now ROI is calculated using the project benefit and costs. And the truth is that this thing is data driven. If you don't have data, it will be difficult for you, to do anything like this. Like I told you, take for example, you have a high retention, a high turnover rate in your organization, and you want to initiate a project, maybe around engagement or something, or retention or something. You have to, first of all, go and calculate the cost to you, to the organization. So, for example, what would be the likely cost of high turnover rate in an organization? What would be the cost to an organization where today someone has resigned, tomorrow someone has resigned? You have a very high turnover rate. You won't understand the amount of um of cost that is to the organization. Because if you look at the business cost, you look at the recruitment cost, you even look at the training cost. In terms of the business cost, if someone joins your organization and within 6 months he has left your organization, there's so many things that you need to consider. How did you bring in this guy in? Did you recruit him through a consultant? How much did the consultant, how much did they charge when they were recruiting him? If you recruited him internally, what's the advert? The time of internal recruiters, pre-employment test, the salary you have paid this guy, the cost of severance benefit, because sometimes you pay these people, cost of training, the training that the company has provided during maybe the onboarding program, cost of manager's time, loss of productivity of filling in this gap that the employee has. So that is why from time to time, no matter what, we must be gathering this data. Because you can't do an effective business case without putting forward a return on investment. And your return on investment is data driven. So by the time you look at that, you will come up with your cost. You come up with your cost, and you also come up with the project benefit. So some of these things that I've mentioned, you need to translate them into naira and kobo or into dollar. So for example, the recruitment cost, the cost, I mean, you spent when you were recruiting this guy or these guys, maybe 10 people have left your organization within a period of 6 months. What's the cost of bringing these guys in? What's their salary? The cost of their salary, the cost of the managers, the time managers spent recruiting, interviewing or recruiting these people. Those are the things that you must factor in your cost analysis. Then, in terms of project benefit, So this is where this consultant is telling you that, oh, if you do an engagement program, this is how you benefit. Oh, your people will get to retain your people more. They will get to stay more in your organization. They will get to work more. They will be so satisfied. You retain your people. The more you retain your people, the better they work and the better they perform, the less the cost on recruitment. So you are going to calculate all that, the project benefit and the project cost. Then after that, net project benefit is just to summarize, the net project benefit and the net project cost. So once you do that, so let's say now your net project benefit is 436,300, and the project cost, the consultant is asking you, you want to take 222,550. Then you divide it, and this is what you get, 1.96 to 1. So what that means is that for every naira invested, there is for every 1 naira invested, there is a 1.96 in benefit that you will get. That for every 1 naira that you put on that project, there's a 1.96 in benefit that you get. And if we can put this forward, talk to the stakeholders who will not want to invest in this kind of a thing. Or put in another way, there will be a 96% return on every investment that you put on that project. For every naira invested, 96 kobo is returned after the investment is recovered. That's just a bit of it. It's highly practical anyway. I wish we could have this as a practical session, but just a bit of the idea of what you can get to do when it comes to doing ROI analysis. The 12-step process of ROI methodology. I mean, I can share this with us. Similar to what I have explained. Level 0, level 1, level 3, level 1, level 2, level 3, where we need to begin to even gather our data. Level 4, level 5. And after level 5, make it credible, identify intangibles. Tell your story, communicate results to key stakeholders. But summarily, let's just put it as, summarily, I've said it over and over again, as professionals, talent development professionals, the people that I interact with from time to time, they are still order takers. They are order takers. Who is an order taker? Order taker is someone who is waiting for managers or for the organization to tell him or her what to do. Oh, we are giving you, okay, go and do this training. Go and organize this training. That's an order taker. We need to move from order taking to strategic, to value creator, to strategic work. And how do you move from that? Is by doing some of these things. The basic phase of that is when you are even identifying strategic opportunities. Reactively respond to a request. That's phase 1. Proactive approach to client. Phase 2 is when you can, as a talent development professional, you can assess business and performance needs. And that's where we need to get to. 80% of the time, and I repeat, 80% of the time, the problems are not individual. Performance problems are not individual problems. But because we condition our mind to say, oh, when Adedoyin cannot achieve his target, his problem is because he lacks skills. And the next thing is we rush and organize training. We are wasting millions and millions of naira organizing training. Consultants will not tell you, consultants take your money and they enjoy the money. Most 80% of the time, that money is not used for the right things. And I can back it up with data. I can show you data several times when training is not the problem. In fact, when training is not the problem, training can never be the solution. So that's why we need to know how to assess business need and also performance needs by carrying out root cause analysis and providing interventions. That can help solve some of those problems. Because of our time, I won't be able to take us through that, but let me just stop here and take further questions if you have any.